Cruddy. Cruddy. Fum. Okay. Here's my honest too. There's different parts of like who I am that responds differently to this. This back and forth. First of all, as a Christian, I have to say, I don't support none of this. We're supposed to love our enemies and pray for those who persecute us. I just gotta say that, right? So off top, off rip, that's what my Christian side says. The most important part I gotta say, as a fan of hip hop and the culture, it's entertaining. As a fan of both of these artists, I'm trying my best to be like objective or whatever, even though it's not entirely possible. I am a Toronto guy. And I've historically been a fan of both. You feel me? I don't think anybody can question who's been more consistent of the two. Obviously, the boy. I don't think there's any debate about who has more commercial appeal. Obviously, the boy. Even in terms of like their pen ability to write songs, I know some people are gonna want to defer to Kendrick as being more skilled lyrically, but I don't even think that's like an immediate foregone conclusion. I think the boy is also very skilled with his pen, both in terms of like melodies and also in terms of bars and what he's able to do in terms of layering his songs. So anyways, so even on like a lyrical front, I don't think it's like an automatic win for K-Dot overall. Now, specifically on this battle, I gotta say, man, as somebody who was really rocked with K-Dot for a long time, I found this response to be thoroughly lacking. Did it have its moments? Cool, yes, there were some bars. He took shots at Drake having maybe multiple writers. That's old news. Drake's pen is certified. He took shots at him not being a good father. I mean, that's deep, that's personal. I guess it's fair game at this point. He took shots, the one line of, I'll be dead if I let a Canadian make Pac roll in his grave. I found that to be kind of hard. You get what I'm saying? That was kind of a hard line. But I got to say, overall, from like a punching you in the gut perspective, bro, Euphoria does not match. It just does not line up with the first one, push-ups, and then the second one, Taylormade Freestyle. Like, if there's anything Drake has proven, and I also got to say, I think Drake over the years has been hesitant to like respond to K-Dot because, I mean, I don't know why, but I can infer that I think he's been hesitant to respond to K-Dot because I think he knows K-Dot is like a worthy opponent compared to anybody else he's come across. But I think there were also some things behind the scenes that kind of like kept K-Dot protected. But for whatever reason, now the boy felt like he's open game and he can go at him. And I can speculate as to why that is. But notwithstanding, here we are now. But if there's one thing that Drake has shown over the years is that he has the ability to make diss records that aren't just diss records, but have replay value, which is kind of like the ultimate, kind of like salt in the wound, the ultimate like digging in on the person, where this is a diss record that plays like a club record, or this is a diss record that has replay value. You feel me? And nobody's gonna tell me that push-ups and Taylormade Freestyle doesn't have replay value. You feel me? Like, there's multiple levels on which, at which the boy went at him. You feel me? Even on Taylormade Freestyle, the fact that he would use AI to like mimic Pac and Snoop, I think a lot of people missed the message with that. A lot of people were saying like he didn't really get Pac's voice or style. I'm like, bro, that was never the point. The point was never to mimic their style. It's clear that Drake wrote those, like he wrote those, and then he just had a voice changer. But the very essence of that thing was like amplifying the diss by essentially calling on his very heroes, the heroes of the West, to say, hey, listen, you need to respond. So that was like multiple layers to that. And then just on like a stylistic and replay value, that just has more replay value, which ultimately, let's face it, at the end of the day, that's what humans love. We can do lyrical, miracle, transitional, ethical, spiritual, whatever, but at the end of the day, what resonates with people, like the mass market for the most part, is the things that are immediately catchy and have high replay value. And I'm sorry, Euphoria just does not have that. It just doesn't have that. Not on the level of Taylormade or Push-Ups. Did it have its moments of like, oh, that was a cool little dig? Like, yeah, it does. But does it have like that that kick, that punch in the face that we got from maybe not so much Push-Ups, a little bit? It did. Push-Ups had some of that. But that immediate visceral and gut reaction we all got when we all listened to Taylormade, and it started with Kendrick, we need ya, the West Coast savior. And then he would lead with Pac, and then move on to Snoop, nephew, what you really about to do? And then he concludes it with his own voice. On the gut level, which is ultimately like one of the first things we're looking for in a rap battle, what is that immediate reaction you give me? You know what I'm saying? Like, Euphoria just did not give that immediate reaction. And I know no one is totally objective. After all, I said I am a Toronto boy first. So maybe what I'm saying isn't completely like objective, but I am trying to be as objective as possible. You feel me? And I think if you're not like a fanboy of either, and I gotta say, I am a fan of both. I have been a fan of both for years. You feel me? And I've liked both of them for different reasons. I've put them in different categories as both being GOATs in their own respect. Have I ever ranked them as 1 and 2? I've never really done that because I've always seen what they do in the spaces they occupy as being in two different spaces. And I think in some metrics, one of them surpasses the other, right? So commercial success, obviously Drake surpasses them. In terms of things that are important to me, like morals and values and ethics, like K-Dot surpasses Drake in that regard. So it's not even on some like, yo, I'm a Drake fanboy. I've always been a fan of both for so many years. And so I'm trying to like look at this in as quote unquote as objective a way as possible, if that's even possible. And I think at least on the merit of like, again, I'm not saying like Euphoria, K-Dot's response didn't have like some moments of like, ooh, that's a little dig. And if there's any that I missed, put some in the comments. So I'd love to hear your perspective on it. But I'm talking like on, first of all, like an emotional battle level, like Euphoria doesn't come close to the 2 records that Drake dropped. And I think history will prove it to be the case. Just off these 2 tracks alone, Push-Ups and Taylormade, even though it's been taken down, it's never really taken down, you can find it, has more replay value and will be played more and longer than Euphoria. That's just because of the way it's designed. And so I think history will show, if we get no other tracks after this, and we don't know,